All the person that I could be. Awakening my heart, breaking through the dark, suddenly you're great. Hey Jamaicaners, Jamaican Beauty here. It is 2:23 a.m. in the morning. It is Wednesday, September 20th, 2017. Baby girl is asleep. Excuse me. She's asleep. She has a little fever, according to my mom, but she's recovering well from her shots that she had yesterday at her 1 year follow-up checkup examination. Fiance is asleep. He's satisfied. I have been procrastinating my butt off on this marketing assignment that was due last week. So I'm forcing myself, and this is my way of self-disciplining me. If I don't do my work when I'm supposed to, I'm going to pay for it eventually, and I'm letting myself pay for it by not going to sleep early tonight, which is fine because everything else is taken care of. So I have no excuse. I took a nap today. I'm wide awake. Everybody else is basically asleep, so this is my time. So what I'm doing today is right now I'm going to record myself reading chapters 4 and 5. This helps me because I'm a visual learner. It'll help me for future references. Remember what I learned, and to keep like inventory on my progress. Learning marketing and understanding basically the principles and the basics of the degree I'm trying to get, which is in business management and accounting. So this is going to help me, and it's very beneficial. So here we go. I'm not going to really be looking at y'all directly because I'm going to be reading, and y'all are just on this journey with me as I become a marketeer, a professional at that. So right now we're going to talk about strategizing with a segmented market. You cannot, excuse me, I have a thick tongue according to my fiance, no pun intended. And sometimes my Jamaican accent wants to come out, so if I mess up a few words, my apologies. You cannot always be all things to all people, so segmentation happens. If you are in the consulting business, you can specialize in for-profit businesses, or you can specialize in not-for-profit. You can even design and market your services to individuals, as for example, a career development consultant does. Each of these types of customers represents a subgroup or segment of the larger consulting industry. You can drill down even further to define smaller segments if you want. You can specialize in consulting to the healthcare industry or to manufacturers of boxes and packaging or to startup firms in the high-tech sector. Certain consultants use each of these strategies to narrow down their markets. I'm going to scroll down right here so I can go ahead and read this other paragraph. Okay, so the advantage of a segmentation strategy is that it allows you to tailor your product and your entire marketing effort to a clearly defined group with uniform specific characteristics. For example, the consulting firm that targets only the healthcare industry knows that prospective clients can be found at a handful of healthcare industry conferences, and that they have certain common concerns around which consulting services can be focused. Many smaller consulting firms target a narrowly defined market segment in order to compete against larger but less specialized consulting firms. And then they said I need to see figure 4.1 for a comparison of a larger but less specialized consulting firm. Also, excuse me, back that up. They said see figure 4.1 for a comparison of a large consulting company strategy with a small consultancy. My apologies on that. You may think segmenting your market will make you lose out on lots of potential customers who have bulging wallets ready to buy your product. Yet, reasons to segment your market exist that make it a much bigger strategy for many small and large businesses. Use the segmentation strategy if you think your business can be more profitable by specializing in a more narrowly defined segment than you do now. This works well when you face too many competitors in your broader market and you cannot seem to carve out a stable, profitable customer base of your own. Also, segment your market if it will enable you to take better advantage of things you are good at. It goes along well with the idea of focusing better based on your unique qualities or strengths. And then they're saying a figure that's in my text but illustrates something that was previously brought up in the chapter. A small consultancy is represented by a segment within a circle that is labeled Market for Consulting Services. The segment is maybe one-fourth of the circle and is labeled Healthcare Industry. The larger consultancy is represented by the entire circle. The companies are named Company A, General Business Consulting, and Company B, the experts on healthcare. A larger consulting firm may go for the entire market, and a smaller firm may choose to specialize in one segment, healthcare consulting. Segmentation is a process that does not stop once you do it. Markets are very dynamic and products change, so segments are always changing also. When you analyze your potential segments, you need to consider these objectives. Excuse me, to reduce risk in deciding where, when, how, and to whom a product, service, or brand will be marketed. To increase marketing efficiency by directing your effort toward the specific segment in a manner that matches. Excuse me, y'all, it's summertime. No, it's the end of summer, beginning of fall, and all kind of creatures and stuff have found their way in the house. So my apologies on that. It flew away. Okay, so segment in a manner that matches that segment's characteristics. The way you segment your market will depend upon whether you are targeting businesses or consumers, or whether you are looking at their characteristics or at their purchase situations. Table 4.1 shows the possible basis for marketing segmentation, including consumer and business markets. And then they have a little graph that has primary dimension market, then it's consumer, and then it's business market. And then under primary dimension market, it had characteristics and then purchase situations. And then under consumer for characteristics, they have geography, age, sex, race, income, life cycle, personality, and lifestyle. And for the business market aspect of the characteristics, they have industry, location, size, technology, profitability, legal, buying situation. For purchase situation, besides them for the consumer, they have purpose, benefits, purchase approach, choice criteria, brand loyalty, and importance. And then for the business market segment of that, they have volume, frequency, application, choice criteria, purchasing procedure, and importance. Segmentation factors. If you are selling to consumers, you'll want to take into account everything about your prospects that may make them want to buy your product or service, from their personality and lifestyle to which brands they are loyal to and how they make their purchase choices. We'll consider the following factors that might make up a potential market segment, which are 1. Geography, 2. Demographics, 3. Usage, and 4. Psychological factors. The importance of demographic features to marketing research is also discussed in Section 5.2 and demographics in relation to known consumers in Section 3.1. Here we'll talk about all four in turn. Geographic segments. Markets, according to locations, are easily identified and form one of the oldest bases for segmentation. The problem is that regional differences may not hold true for everyone in the United States. People are increasingly geographically mobile, so the stereotypical Texan, for example, excuse me, is hard to find in Houston, where one third of the population has immigrated from other states. Ethnic origins and income may overshadow geographic factors. Domestic and foreign segments are the broadest type of geographic segment. Also, condition, conditions such as weather, top, topography, and physical factors such as rivers, mountains, or oceans affect the purchase of many products. So does high humidity, flooding, snowing, or it being cold. Population density can create its own segment. High density places such as California, New York, Hong Kong, they all need products such as security systems, fast food restaurants, and public transportation. The advantages of segmenting by geography are convenience and efficiency. Products, salespeople, and distribution networks can all be organized around a central location. Demographic segment. The youth market buys toys, records, snack foods, and video games, and also influences their parents' purchases. Senior citizens, senior citizens buy items such as low-cost housing, cruises, hobbies, and healthcare. Gender has been of use for some products, but is now changing as sex roles are changing. Women who work outside the home may get the car service or do other traditionally male tasks. Marketers have to be careful about assuming who makes what purchases in the home these days. Marketers study the family life cycle to determine purchasing needs of family based upon their stage of life. A young couple with a one with one young child will have far different purchasing needs than a couple in their late 50s with no children at home. Newly married couples consume different products than families and singles. Income is important because it dictates who can or cannot afford a particular product. For example, someone earning minimum wage cannot easily purchase a $30,000 sports car. Especially as the price of an item rises, income becomes more important as a segmentation tool. It also predicts buyer behavior such as coupon usage. Some other demographic basis for segmenting markets. 1. Education affects product purposes and characteristics demand. 2. Occupation. Physical laborers may want entirely different products than teachers, although their incomes may be similar. 3. Geographic mobility. People who move often, such as military or corporate executives, have to change their shopping habits and may be less loyal to brands than others. 4. Race and national origin. Market research has identified differences in preferences of blacks and Hispanics, for example, for food, transportation, and entertainment. The fifth one is religion. Christians, Jews, and Muslims. Excuse me. Christian, Jews, and Muslims have different patterns. Demographics can be misused. If you try to construct a typical profile and product user, you may be missing many people. The typical consumer of Mexican food is under 35 years old, has a college education, earns more than $10,000 a year, resides in the West, and lives in a suburban fringe of a moderate-sized urban community. Yet, how useful is this profile? Consider that it also describes a lot of other consumers as well and leaves out many Mexican food lovers who are older, live in cities, and reside in the South and the East. Usage segments. Frequent users, people who consume something heavily, are another population target for marketers. The actual reasons that people buy something often is of great use and interest to marketers. Not just the fact that they're frequent users, marketers further segment people according to their buying habits, like 1. Purchase occasion. Why someone goes on an airline trip or makes a long distance call. 2. User status. New car buyers, for example, need a great deal of supportive information. Regular users are different from one-time users, and non-users are different from ex-users of a product. 3. Brand loyalty. The brand loyal consumer is the marketer's ideal target, although marketers are unsure how to measure brand loyalty. And the fourth one is stage of readiness. Consumers can be segmented as either unaware, aware, informed, interested, desirous, or intending to buy. Different strategies will apply, although how to measure the dimension, like brand loyalty, is also uncertain. Psychological segments. You try to appeal to customers' psychological needs and desires in your marketing, and groups of people with common needs from form. Excuse me, I'm gonna start that whole sentence over. Excuse me, that bug is bothering me. You try to appeal to consumers' psychological needs and desires in your marketing, and groups of people with common needs form effective psychological segments. More on psychological influences is found in section 3.1.1. Marketers seek to segment consumers psychologically speaking in several ways. One way is attitudes. Attitudes are predispositions to behave in certain ways in response to a given stimulus. Attitudes of prospective buyers towards certain products influence whether they buy or not. Marketers also look at personality, but research has not shown much promise in this area. Yet there are certain trends that advertisers can count on. Extroverts dress conspicuously, for example, and the newly rich spend disproportionately more on housing and cars. Motives. Motives. Excuse me, y'all. I hate hearing noises and not being sure what it is. And on top of that, I hate roaches that are hiding, and I feel like there's one in here. But I'm not gonna make it mess up my flow. If I start screaming and going crazy, you know what happens. Motives. A buying motive or reason for behavior triggers purchasing activity. Marketers would like to get right down to this level in segmenting the market because it seems to be what market segmentation is really getting at. In other words, demographics, personality, and attitudes all seem to create buying motives. Both positive motives, such as convenience, and negative motives, such as fear of injury, seem to directly influence purchasing behavior. If marketers could get to motives, a difficult thing to pin down, they could segment effectively. The next one is lifestyle. A lifestyle is a pattern of attitudes, interests, and opinions held by a person. Lifestyle studies focus on how people spend their money, their work and leisure patterns, their major interests, social and political opinions, and opinions about themselves and social institutions. This is a very popular way of segmenting because it's easy to measure. Several research firms specialize entirely in this area. SRI International has developed a system, BALS2, that is often used by marketers. It segments consumers into 8 psychological stances based on 43 questions and works with businesses to help them use its system to segment their market. The groups are arranged vertically by their financial situations and horizontally by their self-orientation. Alright, it's just showing me graphs and what BLS2 does and what their graphs look like. So now we're on to segmenting businesses. Of course, your business may not sell to consumers at all, but to other businesses. Segmentation also works for business-to-business marketers. Business buyers differ from consumers in a few ways. First one, most view their function from a rational problem-solving approach. Second, business buyers try to develop formal procedures or routines to simplify their buying. Third, they have multiple purchase influences. Fourth, business buyers are buying to maintain the correct assortments of goods and inventory. And the fifth one is the purchasing executive is responsible for disposing of waste and scrap. These types of businesses, also known as industrial firms, must know how to segment in different industries. Some ways of segmenting business customers are: one, type of customer; two, standard industrial classification; third, end uses; the fourth one is common buying factors; and the fifth one is buyer size and geography. Customers, the group you are selling to, are industrial products, or what you are selling can all be put into different groups. Customers will either be: one, original equipment manufacturers, also known as OEMs, such as Caterpillar in the road equipment industry; or two, there will be end users, such as farmers who use farm machinery produced by John Deere and OEMs. Both OEMs and end users need machinery and equipment: computers, trucks, bulldozers. Materials, chemicals, metals, herbicides are consumed in end user product and thus are sold to OEMs and end users. Aftermarket customers are those who purchase spare parts for a piece of machinery. Components and subassembles, switches, pistons, machining toolbars are sold to build and repair machinery and equipment and are sold to all three types. North American Industry Classification System, or NAICS. Codes are published by the United States government and classify business firms by the main product or service that they provide. Firms are classified in 20 broad sectors of the economy. Excuse me. My YouTube channel thing is blowing up, so let me get that out of the way. Okay, or NICS codes are published by the United States government and classify business firms by the main product or service that they provide. Firms are classified in 20 broad sectors of the economy. The major groups of industries can be identified by the first two numbers of the NICS code. For instance, number 52 classifies the finance and insurance sector. Several publications help the business marketer find which manufacturers produce which products. Examples are Dunn Markets Identifiers, Metalworking Directory, Thomas Register of American Manufacturers, and Survey of Industrial Purchasing Power. So that was a snippet of what I was going to read today. Let me go through and see. Oh man, I don't have that much to go. But I'm sure, just like I did, y'all learned a lot today. So thank you for joining me on, this journey. I'm going to obviously continue reading because I got a whole nother chapter and the rest of chapter 4 to read. And then I got to go ahead and start on this paper. But I love you guys. Stay tuned. You know I won't disappoint. I'm all about the knowledge. I'm all about the power. Kings and queens, keep queening and keep kinging. I love y'all.